So, jetzt gehen wir mal schnell ins Telefon.
I have some news from Churchton. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clarke was murdered while out on his evening walk.
Keine Frau.
Sir Carmichael Clarke. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.
Also 2, die Halsleitner und einen, der für Spezialist war. Interessant. Interessant.
The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clarke, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friend. I will come soon. This place is very calming. The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening. The body is just in front of a bush. One of the only bushes in the surrounding area.
Sich da versteckt.
The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled.
Hat sich da versteckt.
The body is just in front of a bush. Jab has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth. It is pointless. A signet ring, very probably with the Clarke family's coat of arms. An oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was fastened.
Muss man die Sachen immer umdrehen. Ja, er hatte Geld und ein Passport. Hä?
Nothing appears to be missing from this wallet.
Darauf wollte er hinaus. Nur von 6. Oh, schade. 0 von 4 nur.
An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time.
Charge.
Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder.
Ich kenne die sich
Apart from the wound to the
vom
throat,
Arzt.
the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises. The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Brain cells. Brain cells. Er hatte eine Lösung klang in den Blutbeschmutzbereich vom Strahl entfernt. Die Leiche war noch warm. Zack, zack, zack.
Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut the throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Nochmal. Hat Sir Michael seinen Mörder gesehen? Nein. Nein. Nein.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing.
Opportunist.
The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clarke. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
Was soll ich machen? Den Bruder des Opfers befragen.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest.
Ich vertrage keinen Tee. Was ist das denn für einer? Verträgt denn keinen Tee?
There is something elegant about her.
Sie guckt nervös weg. Guckt auf das Make-up.
She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Gleiche Drache.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clarke.
It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to question him. It is now the right time.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Lady Clarke im Sprechen zu hindern.
I insist, Mr. Clarke. Please allow me to remind you that this is a murder inquiry.
Unfortunately, she is much too ill. She doesn't even know her husband is dead. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid it's out of the question.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Ob die Nacht dunkel war.
Was it your favorite novel?
The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit. I know it's a children's book, but it's enthralling.
So it was you who found the body.
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clarke.
Oh, Lady Clarke must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming. Comside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clarke's collection. A tiger. It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic. A turtle. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his A dragon. A crane? Compass, point to the south. Bronze and magnetite, Han Dynasty, circa 210 BC, purchased in Hong Kong 1935.
Alte Stücke hier.
There are some very valuable objects here. I'm not going to leave now.
Was? Ach, die Tür.
Traditional Chinese map. Facsimile. South is on the top of the map. Sir Carmichael's collection could rival that of a major museum. It's locked.
Wo ist der Schlüssel?
The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him. Each cardinal point is
Okay. Rot, schwarz. Und schwarz-blaues.
turtle, the dragon, the crane, and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
Ja, Okay, zugewandt. Kann ich denn das? Okay, okay, das machen wir danach. Rot muss ja oben hin und schwarz unten. Rot. Rot. Schwarz. Blau, so die anderen stimmen dann natürlich auch. Das stimmt noch nicht. Hier stimmt das noch nicht. Müsste doch so sein, oder nicht?
The position of each motif is correct, but they are not turned the same way as on the table. I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard?
Huh?
This is interesting. These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here. Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clarke, MD, Comsite Churstone, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clarke, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clarke's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan.
Ernest Logan.
Here's Miss Grey.
Es hat jetzt der Schrank auf, aber...
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clarke's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Indeed, mademoiselle. This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
She appears to be very flustered. She is unable to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Here? Teapot with black dragon, Gangshi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
And sometimes he used to give you a piece as a gift. Is that right?
Gift? What do you mean?
I am referring to your brooch.
This old brooch?
Mademoiselle, you know perfectly well. I am talking about the magnificent brooch you were wearing earlier.
Yes, you're right. Sir Carmichael did give it to me. He valued my work. How could I refuse? He would have been offended.
You took it off because of Lady Clarke, am I right?
Indeed. Lady Clarke does not like this jewel. Why upset someone who is so gravely ill?
Ah, dann ist es ja doch Lady Clarke. Muss nicht fragen, was sie...
I see. Maybe Lady Clarke is a little jealous.
Mr. Poirot, do not be mistaken. There was nothing going on between Sir Carmichael Clarke and myself. It's just... how should I say? Well, Lady Clarke is very suspicious. Insanely suspicious. Wearing this old brooch in front of her would have caused her unnecessary suffering. Don't you think?
I am not blaming you, mademoiselle. Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Carmside.
Ja, wir so eine Tatsachen fragen.
What were you doing yesterday evening at the time of the murder?
I was sleeping. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clarke speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
Sie überfallen nach den Gründen ihrer Abneigung gegen Franklin und fragen, ob sie eine Beziehung mit Franklin hat.
Am I right thinking that something is going on between you and Franklin?
How dare you ask me such a question?
And you? How do you dare kiss your good friend in the house of a dead man?
Mr. Poirot, you are behaving despicably.
Miss Grey, if I may be so bold, please do not take offence. My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clarke kissing Miss Grey at the foot of the stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene.
Oh, das war's schon. Konnte ich ihn nicht analysieren.
Sir Clarke is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush. The old man walks quietly along the gravel path.
Wundern. So, er
Then he
bewundert.
turns towards the sea to gaze at it.
Oh, wie lange da der wenn ich von links angreife, ist halt die Frage, wie das gemeint ist. Wenn ich von links angreife, zieht er mir eigentlich rechts. Aber ich kann rechts angreifen, ne? Aber er fällt ja nach keine Ahnung.
The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the Poolman's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving.
Offen. Das ist falsch.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Oh, schwierig.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
Alexander Bonaparte Cast. Mhm. Da auch Medizinfläschchen stehen.
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes. Indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Cust, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Mhm.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clarke. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
So, beim veränderbaren Gegenstand wählen Sie dafür den Gegenstand im Inventar aus und klicken Sie auf das Symbol. Es ist nur dann zugänglich, wenn eine Veränderung möglich ist. Aha. Bin ich denn überhaupt?